Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima, and why do I even bother? Like honestly, why do I bother with these silly bloody games? They always turn out to be pieces of crap, but I do it anyway. So this is Super Ping Pong Trick Shot. It's a game that came out on the Japanese Switch eShop just a little while ago, and I figured I'd come and have a look at it because it was nice and cheap and I had some money left over, so let's go and have a look. There's not that much to see in the menus. It reminds me a lot of Touch Battle Tank SP, but thankfully I can actually do some direct recording on this one so that it doesn't look like complete arse. Not much to see in the options menu, as you can see, so we'll just ignore that. That's just background music and stuff. We have two main modes. The top mode is the challenge mode, and the bottom mode is the score attack mode. We will play the challenge mode first. And I will actually skip to a level that's slightly more interesting just to see if we can actually make this work a little better. But anyway, we'll just ignore the level select screen for now. This is Super Ping Pong Trick Shot. The idea is you have 15 balls and you use these balls to get balls in the white cup, as you can see in the bottom right corner there. And you do that via setting the angle of the ball and the power of the ball and hope that you get it in the right spot. There are, of course, things that can get in your way. Like, for example, you see that there's basically a teleport thing there that I appear to have broken. Alright, if you insist. There's a teleporter thing there. There's a button there that reverses the way the platforms move. There's that yellow thing there with a little stain on it. That's a sticky platform. So if my ball goes straight into that, I will lose the ball. So I landed the ball in the cup. As you can see, it says, put this ball in the cup once to finish the stage. And you also have these three little sub-objectives down here. They're different for every stage. But they're all... Well, I wouldn't say they're easy to figure out, but if you think about it, the game's called Super Ping Pong Trick Shot, so assumedly you would have to make some trick shots in order to get the 3 stars. I actually have gotten all 3 stars in one shot without even realizing it, so it's nowhere near as hard as it looks to figure it out, trust me. The controls are fairly simple. You can't actually use a Pro Controller in this one, which was annoying. I was trying to figure out why my Pro Controller was refusing to work for me, but I just couldn't figure it out. So, you have to use either Joy-Cons, the touchscreen, or just the Joy-Cons hooked up to the Switch. You have the ability to, of course, use the buttons. That's what I'm doing right now, because it is literally the only way you can play this game effectively. However, if you press the left button when you're holding the Joy-Con horizontally, it'll turn into the vertical mode. And the vertical mode lets you adjust the angle with the analog stick. And the way you throw the ball is you can't see me doing this, by the way. You throw the ball like you do a throwing motion, and when you're at the arc of your throw, the top of the arc of your throw, finger quotes, you press the... was it the A button? No. Oh, wait, no, I'm on camera mode, sorry. You press the ZR button. Well, ZR is the one I'm holding right now, but you can use the other Joy-Con if you want. And as you can see, it's actually really fucking sensitive. Which is annoying as hell. Because it's really hard to be precise with this mode. Really, really hard. There are also 2 other modes that you can use. You can use the touchscreen, which is literally just flicking it. Not even like Angry Birds style where you slingshot it. It's just you flick in a specific direction. It's slightly more accurate than using the motion controls going on here, but not by much. There is also, you know, it's basically the same button controls, but on 2 Joy-Cons. There is also a standalone camera mode you can use by pressing the top button when the Joy-Con is held horizontally, and you can use this to look around the field. This is annoying because the developer, you can't actually throw the ball on the Z-axis. You can only throw it on, like, say, a 2D axis like this. You can only throw it in a 2D motion. So having the stages be more than 2D, it's basically just, the only reason this camera movement exists is because the developer is like, oh, I'm gonna fuck with them and do things like hide the goal or make it look like you're actually going to throw something into a wall when you're really not. And it's annoying as shit. So yeah, that's the only reason the camera is movable. And it's dumb, and it really, really sucks. And I can't explain it. It's just weird. Just a weird design decision. The ball physics aren't exactly good. There's a few surfaces, like you can see how this little metal box surface is high bouncing. A few of the different surfaces have different bouncing, and of course there are the different objects as well. That makes things a little harder to deal with. However, my main problem was just the ball physics aren't very entertaining. The problem with them is that it doesn't feel even remotely satisfying to hit the super ping pong trick shot just because the physics don't really seem to work with you. The bouncing is kind of off, the way the ball flies through the air just isn't that satisfying. Basically, anything below like 50%, anything below 50% power is pretty much useless in this game. So it just sucks, really. The ball physics just aren't that good, and I find it very hard to enjoy them. Not to mention they are very precise. So the 1% can be the difference between landing in the cup and not landing in the cup on the same angle. It can get really frustrating at times because you end up just having to throw it again and again because there's no way to be precise in this game because look at how fast the percentage meter goes up. It goes up so quickly that getting like a 66% like that, for example, is really fucking hard to do, and I'm amazed I actually managed to throw it into the thing like that. Here's another one of the camera fuckeries, by the way. Yep, you can just throw it right through that. You just need to make sure you get it around the middle. Good job, me. But yeah, the game, just overall, all the physics and stuff, just make it really unsatisfying. And they don't really do anything that's particularly interesting as well. You've only got a few obstacles to work with, and they get repeated over and over again. Like if I go back to the main menu right now, you can see that it'll let you see every single level in the game right off the bat, and you can go to all of them. And they use the same obstacles to make a bunch of different levels, sure, but it just gets boring really fast. I didn't even put an hour into this before I started this video, just because, well, A, it was unnecessary, because I'd seen everything by stage 10, and the game itself just isn't really that satisfying to play. So yeah, there's nothing really to see on this screen here. You can see the individual goals over there. You can see whether or not you finished the stages, but hell, even finishing the stages doesn't really matter because, again, all the stages are unlocked from the very start of the game, so I don't really see the point. Let's go have a look at the other mode. We won't be here for very long because it's next to no different from the other mode. This is the score attack mode, and the score attack mode is basically throw the ball. If you land it in the thing, you get the points. If you land it in either of the cups, you get points. And get a high score within 15 balls. That's it. So you're basically just... It's exactly the same game, except it's kind of luck-based as well, because you have to just be very careful with your percentages. Because again, 1% plus this really quickly moving meter can mean the difference between getting a ball and missing a ball. And you actually get bonus points for getting a chain of these things into the cups in a row. So it's just really dull. I don't see the point in playing this mode just because of the way the rest of the game works. So one mode is relatively boring. The other mode is basically just a carbon copy that's not that much fun to play either. There is, however, a third mode in the game's multiplayer mode, which I actually kind of like. I say that with gigantic finger quotes around my head again. So we'll just head back out and actually go to the main menu and look at that mode, because thankfully I do have a second Joy-Con. However, I am going to look like two retards trying to swat a fly that's just like 10 feet in the air above them. So let's just pick a stage. There's only 10 stages in this mode, by the way, which is actually kind of disappointing. I would like to see more interesting ways of going about this. But anyway, here we go. So, this is the game. You have 2 people on either side. You have their own cups. Some stages have a single cup. And the idea is for both players to get as many balls as they can into the cup or their cups. There are there are pickups hanging around. Like, as you can see, that one has disabled the other guy's power meter, so he can't see. There are other pickups as well, like you can see down the bottom there. Let's see if I can hit it with blue, but I don't think I'm going to be able to because I suck at this game. But basically, if you hit that, it'll give you, like, oh yeah, there we go. So, we have scattershot balls. And these, despite their size, these do count for a full ball each. So, you know, getting them all in would be nice. And that's basically it. You play for 60 seconds. Whoever has the most balls in at the end wins. You get a lovely over-the-top tone, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. There's, not really that much more to say about it. I kind of like this mode as an idea, but it just seems rather dull. I mean, it's dull like the rest of the game just because of the way the physics work and all that. But I just find it a bit unfortunate that this mode actually turned out alright. Oh wow, that's a dick power-up right there. Especially on this particular map, since that means he basically can't score for 10 seconds. But yeah. It's an okay mode. It's probably the best mode out of the lot, but it's still working with the same boring physics system, so it isn't really that entertaining to me, and I find it quite dull. Just like the rest of the bloody game. Combine that with the fact that it's basically it's an inaccurate POS. So it's still an inaccurate POS, so you're still going to have trouble aiming. At least it's more fun. I'm not going to play another round of this. At least it's more fun playing with a friend, because they have to suffer with the same physics system that you do, and maybe they'll get you a couple of laughs, but I am fully aware that there are way better party games to play than bloody Super Ping Pong Trick Shot. This game costs like 600 yen, something like that. It's fairly cheap, but even for that, I wouldn't really recommend it. It's just a bit of a dull bore more than anything else, and I find it hard to get along with, so hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea, and I can put this video up whenever I'm having a very slow week. This has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.